Welcome to Rosa's Receipts, what I can only loosely describe as a show where I test the recipes of yesteryear so that you don't have to. Today, as you may have guessed, I'd like to talk about lard. Lard is rendered pork fat, so basically it's bacon grease. It's a readily available, solid fat which keeps for about a year before it starts to go rancid, so a great kitchen staple, especially in colder climates where things like olive oil were exotic and prohibitively expensive, and before other vegetable-based fats were producible on a large scale. And let's be honest, 95% of the time frying things in butter is just a waste of butter. So here we go. Today's projects are lard soap, a cleansing cream, courtesy of the Everything Within, and a recipe that the Ladies' Book of Useful Information terms French lip salve. Soap is fat, in this case lard, plus an alkali, in this case caustic soda, sodium hydroxide, NaOH. First up, you've got to melt your lard over a low heat. Next, combine your water and caustic soda, adding the soda to the water, not the other way around. I'm not sure what happens if you add the water to the soda, having never tried it, but I believe it turns into some kind of grainy golem, rips your face off and disappears into the night, howling with the fury of 4,000 years of abandoned mysticism. Or maybe the soda might splash on your hands and burn you. Whichever. This bit takes considerably longer than you might think, but the good news is that by the time the lard has melted, the caustic soda should be down to a workable temperature. And now, it's mixing time. Pour your melted lard into the bowl. Try not to vomit at the smell. Pour your water and caustic soda into the bowl. Try not to vomit at the smell. Try not to vomit at the smell. Now we stir, mixing this stuff until it's thick enough for the spoon to leave a trace. The book I got this recipe from, which was incidentally Sally Pointer's fantastic The Artifice of Beauty, says that this step should take about 45 minutes, although in practice I found it took longer. A lot longer. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. It can't take that much longer now. This is the point at which my camera gave up the ghost. So I'm afraid I have no actual footage of what the mixture looked like at the point I poured it. But as you can see, it's getting thicker and milkier as time goes on. Here's a picture I took after I poured the mixture into my little plastic container, and here's another I took a day later. The mixture is solidified and looks kind of dusty on top. The soap's still not ready to use though. It's still intensely alkaline and needs to mature for another 6 months or so before it's good to go. Don't look at me like that. I never said this was a quick project. But I guess I'll probably be back around June to let you know if it, worked. To make a simple, inexpensive cleansing cream, place 1/4 pound of best lard in a basin. Pour over it sufficient boiling water to fill the basin. Leave till the water becomes quite cold and the lard floats on top. Pour off the water and repeat the process twice more. Then put the lard in a clean basin, add 2 tablespoons of rosewater and beat to a cream. This is another project that takes way too long for what it is. Have you ever tried waiting for a glass bowl of hot water covered with an insulating layer of lard to cool down? Do you know how long that takes? Well, if you use water straight from the kettle, it takes about 4.5 hours. That's 6 episodes of The X-Files if that's how you choose to measure your time. But wait, you still have to do it twice more. That's a total of 13.5 hours, 18 episodes. So if you want to try this, I recommend that you don't use boiling water. Aim for something in the mid-40s Celsius. That should bring the time required for each step down to about 1.25 hours, which is much more manageable, I guess. Is it really French? Is it really made of lips? Is it made of French lips? No. No, it's not. It was at the beginning of the second day of filming that I decided that the way I was going to get through this thing was day drinking and the mountain goats. Unfortunately, I got so preoccupied by day drinking and the mountain goats that I forgot to turn the camera on and had to do the whole thing again. Can you tell I'm an amateur? Anyway, instead, please enjoy some footage of me day drinking and listening to Rilo Kiley with the audio scrubbed and replaced with some royalty-free music to avoid me getting the apron sued off me. The original recipe for this calls for 26 ounces of lard. I've scaled it down because I simply do not require 3/4 kilo of bacon-scented lip salve. The recipe also calls for niter, aka saltpeter, KNO3. I confess I was a little worried about ending up on some government watch list for buying this, but so far nothing untoward seems to have happened. I'm not entirely sure what the niter and alum are meant to add to this recipe. They seem to coagulate into a sandy, gunky mess on the bottom of the bowl, although there does seem to be more sandy, gunky mess than there was niter or alum, so perhaps they're precipitating impurities out of the fat and wax. Now, I can leave the salve like this, in which case it will come out white, or I can add alkanet root. Alkanet is a red dye, but the book doesn't say how much to use. I suppose it just depends on how red I want the finished product to be. So let's go crazy. Do you know what? I don't think this is red enough. Time to strain it through a muslin cloth. That way I get all the bits of root and weird gunky stuff out. If you've stayed with me this long, Congratulations. As a reward, here is some footage of me dancing like an idiot. Cheers. So, what did we learn? Well, we learned that I don't like the smell of bacon nearly as much as I thought I did. We learned that I cannot dance. And we're about to learn if any of this was worth it. I'm testing the cleansing cream on foundation and lipstick. So, as a control, let's see what happens if I try to just rub it off with a cotton pad. Smeary weirdness, And here's the cleansing cream. You know, that seems to have worked, broadly speaking. And it seems to have a mattifying effect too, although I can't speak for the benefits of smearing your face with lard in the long term. Now, lip salve. And because I can't ever just leave things alone, I've put it into a little plastic pot. It's really quite pink. It doesn't really do anything to the colour of my lips. I tried this for a while off camera, and perhaps unsurprisingly, it works pretty well. But you'll want to keep it in the fridge because as it warms up, it really does start to smell like bacon, and it is, positioned directly under your nose. So there we have it. Things work. I'll be back in the future to let you know about the lard soap and for more pseudo-historical research. It's been fun, guys.